Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how to set up an Active Directory domain services domain in Server 2012 R2. This is a very simple setup process, and the first thing you need to do before you do anything else is you need to install the Active Directory domain services server on your server that you're going to be using on the domain for your domain controller. So in this case, this is my domain controller. We're looking at the desktop of the domain controller here, and what we're going to do first is we're going to do a post deployment here. So we're going to proceed into that. As you can see here, it's loading up. And we got several things we're going to do. So before we do anything, I'm going to switch to a full screen view so you're not looking at my ugly mug. There we go. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is we're going to start a new forest. The root domain name, this is critical. This is what your domain needs to be named. Mine's going to be SK Frontiers .local. And we're going to next. This is going to be a new domain and a new forest. There's something here. Forest functional level. You can go all the way down to 2008 R2 or 2012 R2. Now, for compatibility's sake, I'm going to go down to 2008. It might not be the most secure way to do things, but it's going to be my way of doing things because you might be communicating with machines that's older or newer. So 2008, perfectly normal. We're going to have to set up a domain controller capabilities as a domain as a DNS. And we need to set up a domain services restore mode password. So this is a password that's used if something happens to your domain, you can restore it using the Active Directory restore services. Alright, make sure the passwords match. There we go. So we're just going to continue through that. It's going to ask now to verify the NetBIOS name. And assuming that our server works, should be SK Frontiers. So our login domain there will be SK Frontiers. You can change these like your database folders, log file folders, and sysvol folders. You can change those up. We're not going to do that today. Of course, verify your settings. I know my settings are okay. And here it goes. We're got a couple little things to load up here. So boom, boom, boom. I guess it's telling us that our security settings are a little whack. I don't care. We're just going to go install. If you're installing this in a field of Windows 8 or Windows 10 machines, maybe even some Windows 7 machines with the proper updates, this will deploy out normally. But in my case, God only knows what all we might be deploying to Windows Vista, we might be deploying to Windows 7, we might be deploying to Windows 10. So we're just going to go with the lowest security standards possible. In this case, it's Windows Server 2008. And you can see we're getting a couple little kickback errors. We'll work through those later. It's creating all of our directory paths and all of that. Now, there's one thing it's going to do automatically is it's going to create a domain administrator account. And the password that you specified for your DSRN will be the password to your administrator account. So we're thrashing away over there on the server. My primary server that we're sitting on top of is running VMware ESXi. So I like ESXi a lot. And we're just running virtual machines for everything. It's taking its sweet time. And setting up some local policies and things like that. You just have to wait through a lot of these things. Depending on the size of your system, how fast your system is, depends on how long this is going. Okay, so we're done. Now you see here, it says you're about to be signed out. So close, close, close. And what I'm going to do just to expedite that, well, never mind. I was just saying, what are we going to do to expedite that process? I was going to go type in shutdown space dash R space dash T space 0. I'll show that command in a little bit. So now we're restarting. There's our VMware. Here comes our 2K12 R2 instance. I'm looking over at the server and it's still thrashing. Please wait. Taking the sweet time. And it's still going. Still going. Come on, dadgummit. I ain't got all day insurance. Here it comes. It's applying some security policies. And boom. Charlotte insert. Now then, you notice here, whereas the first time I started this up, it said administrator. Now it says SK Frontiers administrator in the password. And there it is. You see some things loading up. Some errors will be generated. Okay, something that you see here else is that it installed the DNS server. So throughout this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up different things. Now then, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to get my start menu pulled up here. And we're going to go to Active Directory, Users, and Computers. SK Frontiers Local. First thing I want to see is I want to see what my groups are. I don't know how to do that. They're all right here. Domain admin, domain computers, domain controllers, and the guest account. So what we want to do now is I want to set up a new user. So in this case, I'm going to do me. We're going to do Sean K. At SK Frontiers Outlook. Now I've got to set a password. So now, something I really like to do is I'm going to set up just a usual. I'm going to show you how that would work. Okay, nope, never mind. Okay, now so let's log in as me. Sign out. Other user. So the user's password must be changed for signing in. Okay. So let's set up a new password. So let's do password has been changed. Okay, so you notice that error I just got there. So other user. Let's go back here. Let's log back in. And I want to show you what's wrong there. So let the server manager pop back up here. Okay, I want to show you something else here. So all servers, ADDS. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Active Directory Users and Groups. I want to show you something about this account that I've created here and why he couldn't log into the server. Member of domain users. Now watch this. If I give him access to domain admin, and I took him off of the domain. Oh, what? Duh. You can take him off the domain users group. I was thinking, because sometimes we'll use security policies for different user groups in Active Directory. Now then, let's try this again. Sign out. Of course, I could be forgetting a step here. It's been a while since I've set up an Active Directory. So username is Sean K. There it comes. It's not part of the domain administrators. It's just creating me a desktop. And this is something I recommend doing. Never use the administrator account if at all possible. Always try to use a local user account. Never use an administrator account such as administrator. Always create yourself an administrator account. And that way that administrator account can be just a recovery account. Whenever you need to make a change, you're not doing it out of administrator, you're doing it out of your account. Any administrator on your network or local network domain system needs their own administrator account, not all one using administrator. The reason why I say this is that way if someone goes and makes an unauthorized change, you can track it down to them. So, with that being said, that's setting up a Microsoft Active Directory domain. Thank you guys so much for watching, and feel free to leave a comment if you have one.